What it do? Yo, man, listen. Today, I want to talk about the single hitter guild raid meta. Let's get right into it. Now, for a long time, people have asked for single hit characters to be viable in guild raids. Realistically, they are not very viable because of how the buffs work. It's a very common sentiment in the community to say, hey, I want a single hitter focused raid team, right? It's something I see almost every day. Right now, as you know, there are three main meta teams when it comes to guild raids. The X-Store row comp, which is extremely strong into most bosses, being able to dish out over 1,000,000 damage consistently. There's the Ragnar Blackmane comp that does solid damage into every single boss in the game. And there's the neurothrope comp, which, despite my love for the character and the composition, is struggling compared to the other compositions, to the point where neurothrope is mostly relegated to side bosses and legendary 5 Mortarion after his buffs. Of course, there are different iterations of these compositions. However, the main idea stands that, hey, there's a mech team, there's a multi-hit team, and there's a neuro team. These three teams are very stable. They are pillars of guild raid metas. They're very well established because they do things you want them to do and they do them well. The characters we pick in them are picked because they serve a purpose. You don't see Typhus in the neurothrope comp because he doesn't really add anything that, I don't know, Abraxas will add or Ahriman will add. The teams are defined in the way they are because it's the best they are, right? That was a very stupid sentence. But anyways, you get what I'm saying. I want to look at the neurothrope comp, okay? Because it's something that doesn't get looked at very often. People just say neurothrope comp, and they kind of pass over it. This is from my own roster. This is not from the test server. I'm going to flex just a little bit, okay? So you see neurothrope, right? Diamond 3. They're all Diamond 3. Neurothrope, Abraxas, Yaskor, and Ahriman. 4 characters that personally I think are core to the neurothrope team. Ahriman can get maybe changed depending on bosses. However, I am of the opinion that neurothrope, Abraxas, and Yaskor are a must-take. With that being said, I'm going to pull a CSI and I say, computer, enhance. What is this thing you're seeing, guys? What's happening? Number of physical hits. This is neurothrope because, right, physical, right? Physical, psychic. He has 1 hit. This is Yaskor. He has 1 physical, 1 heavy. This is Ahriman. He has 1 psychic, 1 flame. This is Abraxas. 1 psychic, 2 flame. Let's go back, right? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Guys, we have a single hit meta team. People always come to me, they say, oh my god, Draupnir, I want a single hitter meta team. And I just feel a little somber because, guys, we have a single hitter meta team in the game. When 4 out of 5 characters are single hitters, is that not constitute a single hitter meta team? Right? Am I crazy? Like, we already have it in the game. No, but goodness. Jokes aside, okay, I don't want this video to be condescending. I don't want this video to be like bashing people or anything. I want to raise a very interesting point. People, some people, they genuinely don't know. Like, maybe they're not high-level players. They don't have neurothrope built, so they will know. However, others, they maybe know neurothrope, but they would rather have other single-hitter characters be usable. Because realistically, in the current state, it's all about single-hitter psychic characters. However, if your average single-hitter character, such as the Black Templar's Hammer Dude, if they were to ever become meta through the addition of a new character, they would face issues. So because of how buffing works in Tacticus, you need a very specific way to buff single-hitter characters to make them viable. Because remember, all buffs are based on quantity of hits. If you buff by 100% or 100 damage, a character who only has 1 hit is going to get 100 damage, whereas a character who has 2 hits is going to get 200 damage, and so on. So your average buffers benefit multi-hitters significantly more than your single-hit characters. So you can't just increase the damage stat of the single-hit characters, right? Because if you think about something like Shosel, he's a single-hitter character. He has 5,100 pierce damage stat base at max level. And something like Ragnar Blackmane, who has 7 hits, has 1,200 damage stat or 1,300 damage stat. This is to balance out the average damage. If you say, hey, Shosel needs more damage, it becomes a problem in PvP, like in tournament arena, in arena. Because think of it this way, if you get more damage on single hitters, then there's a situation where most single hitters are just going to straight up one-shot most characters in the game. So this leaves you in a situation where you need a character that somehow increases the damage of single hitters through their abilities, right? Like some sort of buffers akin to Eldrion that works on like single hitters, right? Maybe like, oh, single hitters does more damage or whatever. However, this is a genuine question. I genuinely want to know your opinions. I really do. If you add something like that, how do you stop the neurothrope from abusing it? Because say you have a character, like say this is an idea that I see often where, oh, each single hitter makes it so the next single hitter is going to do double damage, right? That's, it's a cool idea. Kudos to the person who came up with it. I apologize for not knowing your name. But think of it this way. Neurothrope will just abuse that. He will do like obscene amounts of damage. And in that situation, we're just in a neurothrope comp again, right? Because you need psychers to make it so the neurothrope can stack his passive ability, Neuroparasite. So you're gonna use the overlap of psychers to have one hit and stack neurothrope. So you're just gonna use neurothrope, Abraxas, Yaskor, and Ahriman anyways, right? Like, so what are you supposed to do? Like, I feel like Snowprint are stuck between a rock and a hard place because the single hitters raid comps exist in the form of neurothrope. However, if they try to do anything, it just breaks neurothrope. So I feel like neurothrope is a very limiting character when it comes to design space. Because think of it this way. The people would say, oh, Vitruvius is like really good. He gives single hitters extra hit, which is extremely sad that the only way to make single hitters work is to make them not single hitters. I feel like that's very sad. But now you're left in a situation where it's like, hey, anything I do to buff single hitters is going to buff Neurothrope because he's also a single hitter. And the Neuroparasite, it stacks up to 15 times. It deals like 30,000 damage, 60 from high ground. Like, what are you gonna do? Anyways, the point of this video is to say we do have a single hit meta team. It is the top 3 team in the game. We do have single hitters in the game that are meta. That's what I wanted to say. That's all. Silly little video. Thank you very much for watching it. I really appreciate you doing so. Have a good day and stay safe.